What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Green Bay Packers' 7th round draft selection, Anthony Johnson Jr., safety out of Iowa State. And in this video, we're going to be going over 3 games from his 2022 season at Iowa State, breaking down some of his tape and film, and kind of seeing what he brings to the Packers on defense and at the safety position. The Packers safety room is a big question mark heading into 2023. The supposed starters right now are Rudy Ford and Darnell Savage. They signed both John Owens and Tarvarius Moore this offseason as street free agents and spent 1 draft pick on a safety on Anthony Johnson Jr. A lot of people thought they should have drafted a safety earlier, but also a lot of people had Anthony Johnson Jr. as a 2nd to 4th round safety, and the Packers ended up getting him in the 7th. Johnson Jr. is a defensive back with a lot of experience. Now, most of it was at cornerback at Iowa State. His first 4 years, he played corner. Then he transitioned into his safety last year, where he actually had probably his best season, and that's where he translates to in the NFL. I want to quickly bring up his PFF stats here over the 5 years at Iowa State. As we see here, he started in 2018, and he's had a 70-plus grade all 5 years, including last year in 2022, a 74.9 coverage grade at safety, including 2 interceptions, 2 pass breakups, and one of the lowest passer ratings allowed over his career at 84.4. Bringing up his RAS, Anthony Johnson Jr. is a pretty athletic and rangy safety. He graded RAS with an 8.13. He's a little bit undersized at just 5'11", 205 pounds, and only bench rep 12 reps there. He's decent speed, a 4.5, 4.40, pretty basic for safeties, especially in this draft class. There wasn't too many insanely athletic safeties, but I think he really fits well in this Packers defense and what he's capable of doing. He did really well in the explosion grades here with a nice vertical and broad jump as well. And as I said earlier, that safety room for the Packers is a big question mark. Yes, I do see Darnell Savage and Rudy Ford being the starters week 1 and maybe even into the season, but I could see Anthony Johnson Jr. getting snaps as early as midseason once he gets really accustomed to the NFL level, really understands the Packers defense. And that's crazy to say for a 7th round safety, but I feel like he could start seeing snaps like midway through the season because he offers a lot. He has a lot of experience and versatility. And I feel like he really fits the bill as a downhill run support type of safety. He's pretty good in coverage too, but all the film today, a lot of it is downhill run support, an aggressive type of safety that does not shy away from contact. Something that the Packers had in someone like Adrian Amos last year, who is now off the team and with the Jets. All right, so let's waste no more time and get straight into the film and bring up the screen here. So one thing I want to note before going over this film is Iowa State plays a pretty interesting defense in that they are generally always in a 3-3-5, meaning 3 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers, and 5 defensive backs. And that usually allows one of these safeties, typically the middle one, to be more of a robber type of safety, meaning, you know, they can help in the deep ball, they can come up in the slot, they can come up as a linebacker and help in the run support, and they can kind of do whatever they want with that guy because they still also have 2 safeties as well as that guy. So Anthony Johnson Jr. played pretty much all 3 of these roles. He played on the strong side, the weak side, and also that robber role. And in this first play, it's going to be a run play. They're playing against Kansas State here, and Deuce Vaughn, one of the best running backs out of college last year. And this shows Anthony Johnson Jr.'s ability to attack the ball, right? He's not waiting for the ball carrier to come to him, which we've seen a lot of safeties on the Packers do in the past. He's simply identifying it's a run, allowing Deuce Vaughn to pretty much choose his lane, and he's going to attack that ball, getting through blockers and throwing his shoulder into Deuce Vaughn, helping secure that tackle here for a minimum gain. Here is another play, and it's going to be a designed quarterback run. Kansas State is a run-heavy offense. They run a lot with their quarterback. They obviously run a lot with Deuce Vaughn. They had a lot of designed quarterback runs, and Anthony Johnson Jr. here on this play does a good job diagnosing that and then securing this tackle and wrapping up. Really sound tackle here, not just throwing his body at the quarterback. Does a nice job wrapping up, and again, a minimal gain. Really nice diagnosing there and also securing the tackle. Here's another angle of it. We see Johnson Jr. kind of kick here, and that might signal to this guy here that he's going to be kicking out in case it is a designed read option run or quarterback run power to this side. This guy's probably going to be designed to break inside and cut off this lineman here, and Johnson Jr. is going to kick out. I'm just assuming that's what that signal was, but that's exactly what happened here. And as we see here, just a good job diagnosing it by Anthony Johnson and then staying outside and not allowing that quarterback to get outside. And then again, securing up that tackle. Really nice tackle there. Here's going to be another designed quarterback run to the right side, and Johnson Jr. sees this before the ball's even snapped and does an excellent job at blowing up this play. So he pretty much ends up making this tackle just by blowing up number 34 here, because he knows that's his lead blocker. This quarterback's trying to get outside because he has 34 blocking down. He has 19 up here blocking that cornerback. And if Johnson Jr. doesn't blow up this block, this quarterback looks like he might have a lane to the outside, and who knows what he gains. But Johnson Jr. does an excellent job getting outside this blocker and just shooting through him. He's not hesitating. He's not kind of holding on to that blocker and not being aggressive with it. And he does an excellent job at being aggressive. And that quarterback then has nowhere to go. He can't bounce it outside. Johnson Jr. did a great job getting outside that blocker to force the quarterback inside. And again, a minimal gain. On this play, it's going to show a nice progression. It's going to be a pass play, but end up broken, and the quarterback's going to end up running. But it shows the progression of Johnson Jr. here at safety. So first, he's playing a zone here. He plays a lot of zone in the Iowa State defense at safety. And he's going to first see the quarterback start to progress over to here to 34. So he's going to start breaking down to 34. Then the quarterback's eyes flip to the opposite side. So he's looking to play on this receiver as well as the flat here on this running back to help out with this linebacker here. Then once that breaks down, the quarterback sees there's nowhere to go. He could have fit the ball into 34 there, but he's a run-first quarterback at this point. And Johnson Jr. sees that, notices this quarterback is going to take off and run, and does a good job attacking the quarterback. Again, not waiting for that runner to come to him, kind of, laying flat on the back of his feet. He's a good job, going forward and attacking that runner and making the tackle here, wrapping up low on his leg, and the quarterback didn't gain any extra yards after contact from Johnson. Here's one of my favorite plays from Anthony Johnson Jr. Just shows his ability to not give up on a play. So I'll pause it right here because Johnson Jr. is tasked with covering the flat. So he passes off this wide receiver, and then he's going to go take this running back or tight end in the flat here. The ball ends up getting thrown deep. And at this moment, look where this receiver's at. He's way deep. He's wide open. Johnson Jr. is, 15, almost 20 yards away from this receiver. But he's still not going to give up on the play, and he's going to continue to track down this wide receiver who ends up breaking 2 tackles. Johnson Jr. doesn't give up and punches this ball away at the 1-yard line, and the defense recovers. Just a tremendous view of not giving up on a play and playing through to the whistle. And this would have been a touchdown without Anthony Johnson, running through to this ball and batting that out of that receiver's hands at the 1-yard line. And like I said, this guy was 20 yards away, almost 20 yards away, with a completely different assignment. It wasn't his blown assignment, but he still didn't give up on the play, played through to the whistle, tracked down this ball carrier, and got the ball back for his offense. Just awesome player. Definitely one of my favorites I've seen. Probably my favorite from Anthony Johnson Jr. Here's quickly another angle of it. So by the time the receiver catches the ball, that's 5, 10, 15 yards away. Yes, Johnson Jr. has a head of steam. This receiver's backwards and has to turn around, but still, a lot of times you'll see in the NFL even, players really just give up on plays where, they very well could go and make a play like this. So awesome on Johnson Jr., playing to the whistle here, knocking this ball out the 1-yard line. Just unreal. In this play, Johnson Jr. is playing more of that box safety role, the star role, whatever you may have it. And it really shows his aggression and his physicality, and he does not shy away from contact. So we see here it's going to be a design quarterback run again. And man, Johnson Jr. just blows this thing up, basically through that blocker, and ends up making the tackle just by blowing up this blocker. And we saw that earlier where he blew up the blocker and the quarterback had nowhere to go. This one's even better. A lot of safeties will shy away from this, and they'll kind of just stay back and wait for the runner to get to them, but not Johnson Jr. This dude loves contact. He flies in when it's a run, and as you see here, blew up the play. Here we have a clip against TCU. Again, Iowa State in this 3-3-5. All 3 games I've watched from 2022, they mainly ran this 3-3-5. This play is going to be a run to the outside, and it just shows Johnson Jr.'s great read and react ability. So he's pretty far back here, but he sees it's a handoff, and he basically knows the running back's going to bounce it outside at this point. So he does a really good job of basically making the running back cut back inside and also making the tackle, securing it up, wrapping up, and not allow the runner to gain yards after contact. Here's a really good play on the goal line. Johnson Jr. here on the edge. He's going to be a free rusher. This tackle is going to be blocking inside, and basically they're going to allow him to be a free rusher because they believe the running back will get to the goal line before Anthony Johnson Jr. can meet him at the goal line. But he does an excellent job at getting there extremely fast, awesome break off the snap there and at least getting a hand on the running back, and he gets stopped short of the goal line. So, he's going to be a free rusher no matter what. So it's up to Johnson Jr. to get there in time to at least get a hand on that running back and slow him down a bit and stop him short of the goal line, which is exactly what he did. Here is a play against Texas. It's going to be a passing play. Johnson Jr. at the bottom here. It's going to be a corner route by this tight end. It does end up being complete, but it's still a nice job by Johnson reading, reacting to this corner route and still, contesting this ball, getting in front of that tight end, breaking on that corner route, and like I said, getting in front of him. The tight end does an excellent job at still bringing down this ball, but I still think it was a good job by Johnson Jr., contesting this ball, and most of the time that would be an incomplete pass. It was just a really nice catch by the tight end. So good job by Johnson Jr. here to read and react to that corner route and break on that ball. Now I have a couple clips of Johnson tackling Bijan Robinson on the Texas offense here, which is a tough task for any defensive back. It's going to be a run to the right here. Johnson Jr. is going to come all the way from the safety spot and do a really nice sound tackle, attacking Bijan Robinson low. This guy's hard to bring down. This is probably the best running back in college football. Actually, he was. There's really no argument to that in 2022. And he's hard to bring down, especially if you're a safety, an undersized safety at that. But Johnson Jr. plays a lot bigger than his size, and as you see here, does a really nice tackle, down low, wraps up, and brings Bijan down, a guy who usually creates a lot of yards after contact, as we saw the two guys he made miss on this exact play. Here we have another run by Bijan, and if Anthony Johnson Jr. doesn't make this tackle, this is going for a touchdown. It is just a shoelace trip-up type of tackle, but as you can see, he is super hard to bring down. He basically runs straight through two arm tackles here, and Johnson Jr. is the last man at this point. So Bijan's going to bounce us outside, and that's going to be an easy touchdown, but Johnson Jr. has other plans, and although it is just a shoestring tackle, it is still a tackle on Bijan Robinson, which is definitely impressive. This is our final play, another run play. This time it's to Rashawn Johnson, another running back on the Longhorns offense, who is really good. This Longhorns running offense was just absurd last year. And Johnson Jr. does a nice job at still, again, staying physical. This is also another running back extremely hard to bring down, especially for a defensive back. But again, he's last man here, and he kind of gets ran through, but he at least delivers contact enough to where this isn't a touchdown, slows down Rashawn Johnson, and allows his other defenders to come through and make that tackle. So although he didn't wrap up there and he didn't make the sound tackle, without him doing that, that would have been an easy touchdown. So those are all the clips I have of Anthony Johnson Jr. from his 2022 season, the season where he played safety. As I said earlier, his first 4 years, he played mainly cornerback at Iowa State, then transitioned into a safety. And I really liked him in this role because I think he's really good and aggressive against the run, and you could put him in that star role. You could put him in the box, and he's also not that bad in coverage. There are some times where it seems like he really gets lost in the backfield, where he's almost looking at the quarterback too much, and he can really get beat on double moves, and he needs to clean up his hips a little bit, but he's not bad in coverage. Like, you could definitely put him deep and he'd be okay back there. But I think where he's best is playing downhill, attacking the run, reading the run, and making tackles on running backs, quarterbacks, whatever it may be. And as I said earlier, the Packers used Adrian Amos kind of like that. Down in the box, downhill. If it's early downs and the offense is going to be running, you want Adrian Amos down there in the box to be able to help against the run. That's where I think Anthony Johnson Jr. fits into this Packers defense. But again, he has versatility. You could even put him at, nickel corner. You could put him at outside corner if you really needed to at a pinch. He's played there plenty. But like I said, I think he transitions more into a safety, and that's what he's been drafted as. And I think he 100% makes this team this year, even as that 7th round pick. And like I said, maybe by mid-season, he starts seeing some snaps on this defense. I think he'll see special team snaps early on, and then as he learns the defense more, gets up to the NFL speed, or say if Darnell Savage or Rudy Ford are really underperforming or one of them get hurt, yeah, they still have John Owens and Tarvarius Moore, 2 veterans who have been in the NFL a long time. But I think Anthony Johnson Jr. offers a lot of potential in what he could be used as in this Packers defense. I want to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Did you like that draft pick? Just let me know in the comments below. I really loved it for his 7th round pick. I think PFF had him as a 2nd round safety. And yeah, PFF isn't the end-all be-all. That doesn't mean he's a 100% 2nd round talent safety, but a lot of websites had him way higher than that 7th round the Packers got him. So I think it was an excellent pick, and I think we'll start to see that as soon as this year, and if not, into the future. But that about does it for this video. I appreciate everyone watching. If you could leave a like down below, it supports my channel a ton. Also subscribe if you're new here for everything Packers throughout the entire offseason. tons of Packers content on this channel. If that interests you, go down, click subscribe. But I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Packers.